everybody, it's your girl Jen Jen, and it's another day for some great love, some great motivation, for some great reasoning, and just to live and to breathe and to be grateful and to thank God for all that He has done and all that He's about to do. It is beautiful to do that. So today we're going to be talking about accepting life and living it to the best of our abilities. A lot of times, things happen to us in life that we don't necessarily agree with. Things happen to us in life that we are not really sure as how to handle them. We're not really sure what to do about them. We're not really sure who to ask questions about them. We are not really sure as to how to go about navigating our way around them or through them or over them or beneath them. But we have to accept some things that comes to us in life and just live it the best way we know how to. Sometimes some things happen to me and I'm like, God, I really don't know what you're doing. Like, I truly don't know what you're doing. And I really want to know what you're doing, but I'm gonna do my best to believe you. I ain't gonna sit and lie and say that, I've always just accepted everything that God puts on my plate and say, you know what, here's some asparagus, have that. Here are some beetroot, eat that. Here is some okras, have that. Nah. There are times when I want grapes and strawberries and blueberries, and I want some kiwi and all those nice sweet fruits and some sweet sop. But God says no. Sometimes you have to have just a little bit of lemon, or some lime, something that doesn't really taste so tasty, and we don't really want those things. We want the things that are all candy and ice cream, and we want the things that says, you know what, this is how I'm gonna live my life. And I've been hearing this thing going around from the other day, living my best life. And so I often say, what does it really mean to live this best life that we're talking about? Is it to say, you know what, I'm going to live it my way or the highway, or I'm going to live it the way God intends for me to live it, or am I just going to live it and give a hoot, about what anybody thinks or say about the way I'm living my life? And to be honest, I really don't know, how anybody else perceives it. But when I really internalize, and assimilate the situation, I say, okay, God, I've tried living my so-called best life without you, doing it my own way, taking my lemons and making lemonades and walking my way to freedom and standing up for what I believe in. But when I really look at it, without God as the center, none of it really makes sense. I'm not living my best life. And don't get me wrong, I'm not throwing shade at who, has their own ideology of living their best life. I'm just saying, for me personally, that is how I perceive my best life being lived. That is how I accept that even though I don't agree with everything that God does the way He does it, I have to say, okay, God, I really don't agree with everything that you say and how you say it and the way that you bring it across. But when I internalize it, when I look at it fully, when I really digest it, I see, God, that you have the best plans for me. You really and truly thought about what it was that you're bringing me into. You really and truly took the time out to, make me fully aware, fully conscious of what is it that I should be doing and where is it that I should be going. And I just have to say, okay, God, that is how I'm going to live my best life. That is how I'm going to live my best life, with encouraging others and motivating others and empowering others. and admonishing others and say, hey, we may not like how God shares the food on our plate. We may not like the portions that he gives at times. We may not like how this juice tastes. I remember, when I was told that I had to drink beetroot and carrot, especially beetroot, when I was diagnosed with anemia, and I didn't like beetroot because it tasted like dirt, and no matter what I mixed it with, it always overpowered the taste, whether it was mangoes or soursop or carrots, whatever it was that you blended beetroots with, beetroot ever came out as a champion. Like, champion boy, he takes the lead, right? And I didn't like that. I didn't like that when I found out that I had fibers, that I had to, cut out, a heavy portion of red meat because I love beef and all of them things. And I had to change the way how I ate. I had to exercise more and all those things. I didn't like anything that really and truly restricted me. But when I look at it, to live my best life, I have to do the things that I may sometimes don't like. And it's not that they're not good for me, because most of the times the things that we refuse are some of the times things that are very good for us. I may not like beetroot, but it gives a lot of blood, which at the time I needed badly. Really badly, because I was almost down to a 7 where I would need blood transfusion. Now I blend beetroot without giving any remorse to it and be like, I don't like you. I drink it now. Even before I started this video, I had a glass of it and it was refreshing. I just blended with some ginger and lime juice and a little bit of sugar, just a little bit. To all my health conscious friends out there, Auntie Carmen, I see you watching me, but I put some sugar in it. No, honey, I put sugar, be honest. And I had some and it was really refreshing. So even though we don't always agree with how God do things, what he does is always giving us our best. What he does is always looking out for us. And that is why he can look beyond our faults. He can look beyond the little day in and day out mistakes that we make and the little things that we try to move around like pawns, on a chessboard. And he can see our needs. He can see the things that we're going to need. He can say, okay, I know she doesn't like this, but she's going to have to do this for a couple of months to get back into the shape that I want her to be. I know, John, you don't like waking up at 4 o'clock and hitting the mat and doing press-ups and lunges and working out, but you need to get your body fit. You need to do these things. I don't want you to be just mentally prepared, but I want you to be physically ready. I needed to have physical stamina. So even though we may not always love and accept the things that God puts on our plate, believe me that his portions, his servings are always the best. The first time I really went to a fancy, a fine dining restaurant, as they would call it, a 5-star, and I really saw what the entree was and how small the portion was that was on the plate, but how beautiful it was decorated. And I said to myself, is this what I'm paying so much money for? As a foodie, as a global food ambassador, I was appalled. I was really hurt. I was saddened. It was a very tragic situation for me, because I thought that if you're going to be charging me all this money, then my belly would be full. I thought that, after getting some cream of pumpkin soup and all these fancy things, when I got the plate of food, I was like, okay, I'm not even going to eat today because I'm going out to a lovely restaurant and I want to enjoy all this food. And when I got the serving, it was the portion was really tiny, and I was really upset because I thought that I would have received more. But even though it was a small portion, the taste was remarkable. The taste was exquisite. The taste was different. And I will always remember it. I will always remember my first time going to a 5-star restaurant. I'll always remember eating out like that. I will always remember, because it left an indelible mark. And that is how God is. That is how He is. Sometimes He gives you flushing and flourishing, and other times He just gives you exactly what it is that you need for that exact moment. But I guarantee, if you really just trust what He's doing, you'll never forget. You will never forget. You will always remember that this is what it tastes like. That this is how it feels. That this is what it means to accept what God has given and to live the best life possible. So I really hope today that these words were encouraging to you. I really hope today that these words were, a blessing to your soul and your heart and your mind and your spirit. And I just want to thank you so much for the love and the support, because I could not do this without you. Thank you guys for the new subscription. I could not do it without you. We're almost at 200. To some persons, they might say, but that's nothing. To me, it's a lot, and I greatly appreciate it, because you didn't have to subscribe. You didn't have to tune in. You didn't have to watch. You didn't have to share. You didn't have to do any of those things. So I'm grateful. And I'm thankful, and I'm just blessing God, because He is doing a fine work, not just in me, but those around me and those who these videos have been touching. So thank you guys so much, and always I will see you in the next video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. It's Charge Talks with Jan. Turning brokenness into ministries and stories into stepping stones, overcoming mountains and